Surely That Radio Chick here. Welcome to the Still Rocking It podcast, where we'll have music, news, reviews and interviews with some of our favourite Australian musicians and artists. We share a recent catch-up with three members of Adelaide's 80s band IronHorse, John Yakka, Kevin Perks and David Stone. We chatted in their rehearsal studio as they prepare for their next once in every 10 years or so gig coming up at the iconic Thebarton Theatre. To catch up on podcasts from other favourite artists, simply go to thatradiochick.com.au. So pleased and thankful to be invited into this wonderful rehearsal space of fabulous 80s band IronHorse. Thank you for inviting me, gentlemen.
No worries.
Formed in 1980, and you have a very, very dedicated supporter base, which means that you do get together every now and again and do a special performance, which we'll talk about later. In 1986, though, you brought out your first album, Lost Weekend. It's a favourite one of mine. I play it on the radio all the time. Number 5 on the local charts, number 54 on the National Kent Report. Congratulations.
Well, yeah, like most bands at the time, we did the rounds with the various record companies. A lot of it, the music for them was just a little bit not in their scope. But then we were very hopeful with Mushroom Records, and I was with our manager at the time when we did a bit of a teleconference, and just didn't remember, came over the loudspeaker because they were kind of interested in us, and the A&R person was a lady, and I remember her voice, and she says, "Yeah, look, I don't mind the music, but God, they're ugly." and of course, you know, the 80s, we just didn't look the part. We had long hair, beards, and we were a bit scruffy looking, I must admit, and that was not what was happening in the 80s. So consequently, we just went independent and scratched up the money between friends and a few supporters, and we got it out.
It's a great album, as I say, I play it all the time. What do you do in the band, John? Maybe play drums?
Well, I've been known to hit these things they call drums, and I'm still getting my head around them, and one day I'm going to master it. Yeah.
Dave Stone, vocals and guitar, a bit of banjo, a little bit of harmonica.
Nice. And Kevin Perks.
Bass guitar.
And John Yakka on drums. 3 of the original band members. Who else have you got in the band at the minute?
We've got a Sean Pilkington, who's also lead vocals and guitar, and he would have been here tonight, but unfortunately couldn't make it. But he'll be here very shortly for rehearsals. For rehearsal for the big gig. Some pretty heavy hitters have been very privileged to play with you guys, like B.B. King, Deep Purple, Joe Walsh, Canned Heat. I bet there's some stories there. Are there anything you can tell us that won't get you jailed or murdered?
There was one incident when the band was doing the Deep Purple support at Memorial Drive. We were about half an hour from going on stage, had done our sound check and everything. Yeah, we were waiting in the band room, and all of a sudden we had a visitor. And that was John?
Well, that was Deep Purple's manager, and he actually came up to me and said, "Look, we've just had a phone call from the union, and you guys aren't members of the union." And I said, "Yeah, that's right," and I started to tell him why, but he wasn't interested. He grabbed me by the arm and he said, "They're on the phone, tell them you're joining the union right now."
Or else.
The concert's not going ahead. So he squeezed my arm. And so I said, "Yes, we're quite happy to be members of the union." And so they signed us up that night. Before the show went ahead, and Monday morning I was in their office and we resigned, but I explained to them why. And many years later I was involved in forming what became SA Music. It was originally called the Rock Pool, and I was on the original committee, which is, I think it's kind of defunct now, it's gone. But we started a thing called the Rock Pool, which was a collection of South Australian music industry people, including musicians, agents, venue owners, the Musicians Union, and her name escapes me at the moment, but I was kind of like a standing joke with her, you know. She would always say, "Yes, IronHorse, sign them up on the Friday." They resigned.
Oh.
You are listening to Still Rocking It, the podcast with Cheryl Lee.
On the cover of the Lost Weekend album is a great cartoon of the guys driving a train So let's play the train song first up, and we'll be right back to speak to IronHorse after this. Your hands on this album, you can go to the Facebook page, IronHorse Band Australia, and follow the link. Hard to get sometimes.
Yeah, it has been, but lately we've always had stock on supply, so there'll be plenty of stock at the upcoming gig. Have I spoken too soon, Cheryl?
No, not at all. I remember seeing you guys all those years ago quite a few times at the Bridgeway. Would that have been one of your main venues?
Yes,
yes,
for sure.
Yes, for sure. It was a big one for us. Along with actually the Highlander in the early days was huge. But yeah, also Colonnades, Findon.
Early on, the stage door,
Stage door, that's right.
Oh, wow,
the one
all
where
these memories.
where the carpet stuck to your feet. Yeah, that one.
And the large pier, did you go down there?
No.
Feet stuck to the
We
floor
were
there.
too late for the lugs.
Yeah, that wasn't running.
It had finished up with the bands there. So
Oh, some great
that was one we never got to do.
venues though. Great memories. I probably saw you at other places as well, but for some reason the Bridgeway sticks in my mind. Jumping off the stage, running through the crowd. Does that sound familiar?
Oh, that was...
That would have been Sean. Yeah.
We had a few instances. Probably best left
unsaid.
left in the cupboard now.
Yeah.
We are rehearsing for an upcoming gig. As I said, you guys come out of the woodwork every half a dozen years or so, have a bit of a practice and get out there by popular demand. As I said, the fans won't let you stop, will they?
No, which is really nice. Really nice.
Yeah.
And yes. We have other things happening in our lives, so we don't play IronHorse all the time, but we like to have that there. And, we never ever really broke up. We just kind of stopped playing because we needed to for a while.
Yeah.
To have a break.
Have a break.
So during those breaks, I'm sure you guys all do some moonlighting, either in other musical ventures or other...
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, of course, these days, bands are becoming smaller and rooms are becoming smaller, so duos are a very happening thing. So I know John started one with his wife and I've started one with my daughter.
Oh, lovely.
We call ourselves Jamstone. Yeah, we play in a sort of circuit around the local Gawler area here, Barossa Valley and, similar places.
Kevin?
Yeah, I've just been doing a few tribute bands. I was in a band called Freako, which I still am, I guess, but we're not playing that much.
What did they play?
Bad Company and Free. We were a tribute to those guys. Yeah, so it was fun. Yeah.
And Lily in the drum, and any of you get a real job? And I see you didn't get any haircuts, but did you get a real job as well?
Yeah, I've got a real job.
Off and on we've had to,
Yeah.
I'm kind of lucky. Well, Dave and I both lucky. We're sort of self-employed, so
We're self-employed, yeah.
we can work around our music commitments.
Kevin?
I'm doing a normal day gig actually. I've been working at R.M. Williams for quite a few years. Yeah.
Oh, what a cool place to work.
It's all right, yeah.
Yeah.
They look after us all right, so yeah, it's been good. Yeah, working.
Excellent.
Still Rocking It podcast with that radio chick Cheryl Lee. I think we'll play a Lily in the Drum song now. A beautiful song. This is Right Now, and we'll be back to speak to the IronHorse boys after this.
I held my head up high, turned my face to the sun. I'm tired of waiting in the shadow for my time to come. Not sure where I should be heading, just wanna find my place. But the tick-tock of the clock tells me I can't stay. This is right now, I can't wait till then. And I've never been so sure of anything. This is right now, there may be no then if I don't change the shape I'm in. There's so much I would do if I had my time again. So I know I can't waste another minute on regret. My heart's beating so fast, 'cause I know this time it's real. Not just gonna talk about it, I'm acting on the way I feel. 'Cause this is right now, I can't wait till then. And I've never been so sure of anything. This is right now, or there may be no then if I don't change the shape I'm in. I've been caught up in a maze, lost in a haze. The nights turn to days, turn to nights, so many up my things, grabbed my guitar. I've got a pocket full of dreams, gonna take them far. Far away from the life I've known, from any place I've ever been. Heading out there with an open mind, I wanna take it all in. 'Cause this is right now, I can't wait till then. And I've never been so sure of anything. This is right now, or there may be no then, if I don't change. The shape I'm in, yeah. I'm changing, I'm changing, I'm changing the shape I'm in, yeah. I'm changing, I'm changing, I'm changing the shape I'm in.
Is there going to be a second album? So you guys have also performed under the name of the Hurricanes and Cosmic Desert. I think
Desert,
Cosmic Desert did have another album.
We did
Yeah.
release one. Yeah.
Now I know there's some material there. Are you going to hear it first here? Have you got a scoop for me?
There's
There is-
plenty of material there.
Yeah, there is actually a second. There was a recording done many years ago, and we were going to release it, but then we thought, I don't think anyone's going to be interested. You know, years rolled by, and we thought that there might be interest in it. I kind of went back and listened to it and thought I wasn't really happy with the recording, and we've written other stuff as well as that. So there's a good album and a half, if not two, there. And in fact, the last time we got together for the last reunion, we spat out two of Dave's new songs in one night and recorded them. And I'm not sure if we'll be playing them this time round or not. The material's there, but we still kind of wonder, you know, would anyone really be interested? You know,
Oh, look,
I don't know.
I can talk on behalf of the fans because I am one. You know, nostalgia music, it's big. We love the fact that music transports us back in time. You know, it just takes us to a time before we had mortgages and kids and bills and, you know, back to when we were free and easy.
When we talk to our followers and that, you know, the story of the band is interspersed with marriages and children and events of people's lives that have gone on over this long period of time. You know.
I think the fact that this album is so beloved and the band is so beloved is testament, and I think you should do it.
Yeah, our gigs quite often are like a big family reunion. Our last reunion gigs were like everybody knew everybody, you know, it was great.
That's right.
Yeah, really special.
You're joining forces with a couple of our other Adelaide bands coming up soon at
Thebarton Theatre, and we're going to have Vince Contarino with, he's actually going to use the band Lazy Eye on the night to back him. We're going to have our old original bass player. We had our very first bass player with IronHorse with us for 3 years. That was Brett Han. Brett's band will be playing, so that's 63 Deluxe. And we've got Stuart Day, and I think a lot of people would probably know Stuart Day. He will be opening the show, so there's going to be 4 acts. Yeah, it's going to be a fun night.
So get onto the Googleometer, get your tickets for Thebarton Theatre, another one of our great Adelaide venues, because if you miss this, you're not going to see him for another 5 or 6 years. So get your tickets and I'll see you down the front.
Yeah, you might be too old in 5 or 6 years.
With their walking frames, don't you worry.
Nah, we're all young fans.
They'll have invented the, you know, fountain of youth by then. Although I personally think that rock and roll is the fountain of youth. It keeps you young, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
One last quick question for you. Well, two actually. Perhaps we can talk quickly about some of the influences on each of you. Then I'd like to know, before we go, what you like to listen to now. Like, have you got a secret Kylie Minogue thing going on? So influences
How do you know about that?
Yeah.
I know. I see all.
It's got nothing to do with her music. Though.
Little pair of gold shorts, I must say. That's something to do.
Yeah, you should write a song about those sorts, I think.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, I'm going to go first.
Yeah.
All right. Well, look, I've had heaps of influences and a lot of Australian musicians. But look, I've got to say that my all-time favourite is Bob Dylan. And I know that's strange for a drummer, but I just loved his stuff. But yeah, look, I was influenced by a lot of people. From my drumming point of view, some Adelaide drummers got me so interested in playing drums. So I have been influenced by local musicians, but I've also some of the great names as well.
Yeah, he used to drum a lot the Deep Purple one.
Yeah, I was a big fan of Ian Pace.
Mhm.
Ginger Baker was a big one in my life, probably one of the bigger ones. But also, I don't know if anyone's ever heard of the Daley Wilson Big Band, and I was really influenced by Warren Daly, the drummer out of that band, and I tried like hell to play like him and kind of got somewhere but never got close because he was brilliant. He was just a great drummer, great Australian drummer.
Dave.
Well, I came from a unusual pathway, I think. I learned to sing in church, in my dad's church, and my dad was a preacher. So like a lot of your gospel singers and your soul singers in the States, they all started their vocals training in church. And it is really a fantastic place to learn to sing. So that was my influence to start off with. And my parents being very religious and that weren't into secular music, so really up until the time when I left school, I probably couldn't have really told you with any knowledge who the Rolling Stones were. So I was completely blank.
Wow.
Completely. But my friends worked on me and they played stuff for me, you know?
Yeah.
And I learnt what rock and roll was. Yeah, so.
And fell in love.
And fell in love with it, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. From a somewhat different direction.
Yes. Thank you for that. And Kevin.
Well, my first 8 years I grew up in England, so the Beatles were always a big thing. The first record I ever bought was the single of Satisfaction by the Rolling Stones. Yeah, it went on from there. Tom Petty, I just loved. I'm right into vinyl again now, so I've been buying all those old albums of the Church and bands like that. Absolutely love it. Yeah. So, yeah.
Isn't the resurgence of vinyl fabulous?
Yeah, Neil Young, absolutely love Neil Young.
I gave all my vinyl away, as a stupid 20-something, and now I'm madly trying to buy it all back again.
And they're not cheap anymore.
No, that's right.
You are listening to Still Rocking It, the podcast with Cheryl Lee.
Time for another song from the Lost Weekend album, I reckon. I used to love watching this one live as well. Freaky Man, and we'll be back to speak to IronHorse again and find out what they're listening to at the moment.
I see the way you look at me, yeah, think of what
on, John.
Look, many years ago I used to listen to a fantastic radio station called Dig. It got taken over by 2JJJ. Dig used to be a fantastic radio station that showcased a lot of great acts from all over the world, as well as some fantastic Aussie acts that no one would hear about otherwise. So I learnt a lot about some really great Aussie acts out there. People like Jeff Lane, they weren't getting played anywhere except you'd hear them on Dig, Fiona Boys and acts like that people don't really know about, Lucy Thorne. So I kind of got into that, but then once 2JJJ took over, I went to an American radio station which plays absolutely wonderful music, including Australian music. So I got right into Derek Trucks, the Tedeschi Trucks Band, revisited the Allman Brothers, went right back because they played their stuff and I thought, yeah, the Allman Brothers. But even unknowns, sort of unknowns here, like Amos Lee, Ray LaMontagne, there's a lot of great artists that we don't get to hear here.
I thought you were going to say you listen to my show. Of course you listen to my show.
You support us very well. And yes, we have listened to your show on a number of occasions.
I think I was, first of all, through John, and it was influenced by Bob Dylan, and probably was introduced to the power of words and his word pictures, which would fascinated me as I read about how he would do these word pictures, and that's what you would see as you listen to the song, you know. Absolutely. And so I was fascinated in that. But, you know, like, great selection of bands and that, you know, but I did pick up on bands that to me had something different, and one of those was Supertramp, that I did hear things that I really, really liked, that I hadn't heard before.
And you still listen to Supertramp now?
Absolutely, yeah. We went and saw him at the Thebarton Theatre, and he was fantastic. Unexpected changes along with great words. If I know what's coming up next, it bores me.
Yeah. Like surprises. Any guilty pleasures? Adele?
Too old for anything.
I've got, I don't know if it's a guilty pleasure, but Courtney Barnett, I really like her at the moment.
Yeah.
And I'm listening to a lot of stuff that I didn't really listen to much back in the day, like Richard Clapton, absolutely love him now. Like I said, The Church. Jeff Beck, that I never really listened to much of, and when he passed away I went and bought 3 of his albums and I'm just blown away by him. He's just amazing. I'm listening to everything these days, really.
Well,
even the Motels.
Well, thanks again, gentlemen, for inviting us into your rehearsal space. We know it's a little bit hallowed, so we feel very grateful to be here. Wish you all the best for the new album and the gig, the upcoming gig.
Thanks. Saturday, June 24th, Thebarton Theatre. Get your tickets because they won't last. And we will be setting the theatre up a little bit differently, so it won't be just a straight out seated scenario. We're going to cater for all sorts. We're going to have some dancing space, tables and chairs, and we're going to have some raised seating. And 4 bars. And
do yell out if you need the services of a good tambourinist.
Yeah, well, you never know.
IronHorse worked very hard to have a very diverse following. In other words, city people, but people in the country as well. And we did a lot of travelling to build our following in the country areas of South Australia, and that's still really
strong. Country areas of Australia, man, we went all over.
All over. Did the same things we did in South Australia. We took that everywhere, but we really concentrated on country centres.
Yeah, we never skipped the country.
And that's given us a basis.
Yeah, and a very loyal one. Country, they're very thankful.
They are, because they can't always get people to go where they are, you know, and if you make the effort to go, we've seen some remarkable things. We play a little place called Gullinair in South Australia, and if you wanted to see country people organised, that was the epitome of organisation. It was just perfect.
That was a good story though. We pulled into this one horse town, literally, with one pub and a few houses, and I just jokingly said to the guys, you know what, I'm going to book a gig here. I booked a gig and in the local hall, and it was absolutely packed. They came from everywhere. It was fantastic.
They're great supporters. So my favourite song here is the train song. Who wrote that?
Tell them the story. Just a bit,
Of the words you mean, or?
Well, you know, especially the Mullumbimby Madness bit, because I visited Mullumbimby recently.
Well, we came under some attention, didn't we?
We did.
From officers of the law. For what reason we did not know. But they sat outside our house and,
Our rehearsal,
which was just up the road. Yeah, and they sat outside there observing us doing practice, which we thought was
many
pretty hilarious.
days actually.
Yeah.
But Dave wrote the song. It was kind of semi-protest, but also it was about the hippies in Mullumbimby. Obviously grew their pot. They'd get raided by the police. The police took all the pot, and then that very same pot would hit the streets later on.
Yeah.
So if you listen to the words, I got some Mullumbimby madness from a policeman's friend.
Right.
And that's where that line came from.
Yeah.
And then there was also a little bit of a protest song because Roxby Downs was starting up and they were going to dig uranium.
And they were talking about sending people who didn't have a job, that then they should go and work there. And that line came up in the song as well. That, if you didn't have a job, you could end up digging uranium.
Like conscription to the
Kind of,
workforce.
yeah.
Jeepers.
I didn't have a job.
They didn't want me around.
Yeah, so they and you said so they sent me to Roxby Downs, but I wasn't going to dig it out of the ground.
Yeah.
I'm going to dig it out of the ground.
Yeah, it's a great song.
I love that.
Yeah. Well, the chords too are very complicated because they consist of the chord D. There aren't any other ones.
It's a one-chord song,
So
and would you
one
believe
chord
that?
song. Yeah.
And it's been our most popular song.
Yeah, sometimes simple is best. Thank you so much, Kevin, Dave, John, for having us here, and all the best for the future of IronHorse.
Thank you very much.
Good on you, Cheryl.
Thank you.
You're with Cheryl Lee, that radio chick. Thank you so much for joining me on the Still Rocking It podcast. Hope to catch you again next time. Get out when you can, support Aussie music, and I'll see you down the front.